What is happening with the market? Is it rigging? Are we going down? Maybe more dumpage actually awaits. Have a lot of meme coins actually showed exit pumps, and are they not going to perform short term? What should you actually expect from the market short term, and what will happen tomorrow on Monday? And we'll also talk about the most undervalued Ethereum layer 2 and the most undervalued meme coin at this stage. Without further ado, let's actually start. Pussy index, extreme pussies. This is essentially how the market looks at this stage, and this is very, very bullish. It's very bullish. Firstly, we'll go through the market sentiment. Then we will talk about Blast for a bit and Andy as well. But I would like to focus on the market sentiment and on the bets that you can actually be making on the market currently in order to outperform short-term and mid-term as well. I think this time that we're in currently is very, very important, and I will explain to you why. Next week will be insane. Don't ask me why. I honestly feel like that. Like today I woke up at 3 a.m. and I made some messages, and the messages that I made were like, we are pumping tomorrow. We are at a reversal. It feels like we are going up. And the person I was talking to said that, yeah, charts, they look pumpy as well. They look like they want to pump, like they want to move up. They want to move forward. And it's very, very interesting that the sentiment is changing between certain people. They're saying that, oh, we'll probably like chop till September, till October. I don't believe that. You have to understand that we are today at 13th of June. We are closing second quarter. We are closing second quarter. Even between Andy on Blast Whales, there were people who were saying that they are running funds and they're waiting to close the quarter to actually invest more funds, put more funds into Andy. These are the things that you should actually need. These are the things that you should actually understand. As mentioned, I do believe that the current manipulation, current dip that we are in since pretty much May, it's all a giant manipulation because we are at a largest discorrelation with the stock market. It's a bullish dip because this is a final shakeout. I will show you some metrics. This is just crazy where we are cycle-wise at this stage, sentiment-wise, funding-wise, Ethereum ecosystem transactions-wise. This is just so crazy. Listen to this. Ethereum just had its lowest hour of average gas prices since November 2016. 9 of the 10s of cheapest hours have been this week. This week. Ethereum was $1 back then. Do you understand what is happening? People are bored. No one is in the market. Smart money and whales are acquiring currently. This is the chance. Like if you missed all this bull run, if you thought that BTC is going lower, like at 16K, 20K, 30K, this is the chance. Not probably speaking about BTC, but about alts, about Ethereum even at this stage. This is just so interesting. This is just so bullish in terms of these real data, real statistics actually showing on the marketplace currently. Cheapest transaction gas fees since Ethereum was at $1 in 2016. This is the only thing that you pretty much need to understand, need to know at this stage. If you had a stock in the lower time frame and you catch yourself being a bitch, just remember, presidential election, boss won the crypto vote. We are entering month 7. Presidential election is when? In November, 4 months from now, markets are front looking, always. Like the amount of time we have at these prices is so low. Understand how carefully they actually constructed the sentiment, how well they're working with the sentiment, how well they persuaded the market that nothing is happening, we're going lower, we're probably going 57K, 40K, memes are a scam, everything is a scam, alts are a scam. Understand the sentiment, understand who the fuck is creating the sentiment and what is the benefit. As mentioned in one of my tweets that I was sharing, I was saying that they will make more money currently, just keeping you in the range, slowly chopping down preferably, and not dropping heavily into the bottom. Because if they will drop, probably we will see a lot of buy pressure, which will change the sentiment. And how they can accumulate for a large amount of time through downwards chop, they will make more money currently. The manipulator will make more money if he will just keep us at the current levels with the downwards chop, because each and every time people are getting bored, they're selling, manipulator is buying into the assets along with smart money. that are buying into the assets at this stage. Rate cuts are imminent, ETFs post BTC halving. I simply can't be bearish on the macro scale. I would say that, partially this is quite bearish take, because this guy, he's usually bullish, right? And he's saying, I simply can't be bearish on a macro scale. So this is a bit of a bitchy take, I would say, because usually this guy is bullish, and right now he's like covering with macro scale and things like that. And the reason I'm telling you this is because you have to understand the sentiment between these, like the guys like this, it's also changing, which is so fucking bullish. This is not like 100% bullish take, not at all. Just watched Bob Lucas' latest video where he goes through the top 50 crypto charts. Man, a lot of these are simply dead coins and still are in the top 50 somehow. Expect the top 50 to change dramatically over the next 6 to 12 months, in my opinion. See what's getting the most ranks right now for close. I do actually think that Blast will definitely be in the top 50 closer to the end of the cycle as well. But the reason I'm sharing this tweet is because I want you to understand the opportunity. It's true that a bunch of projects in top 50, they're just dead weight projects. They were just promising something, they never delivered it. And the only issue that's still there is because market just didn't have enough time to reprice assets that are actually doing something, that are actually delivering value into the market at this stage. It's so crazy to see a bunch of assets from previous cycle, even previous cycles, being in top 50 at this stage. Worthless things, just with back holders that were persuaded and kind of created and were pretty much invited into this type of cult in the first place. This is a very, very interesting and bullish situation as well. A bit of boring market right now, but soon action will be back. Those days you should spend some time with fam and stuff. I disagree heavily. I heavily disagree on spending these days with fam and stuff, because you have to understand what you're doing in the market. We are competing with each other, right? The less people we have at any given moment of time, the higher chance is actually to win. The higher the chance is accumulate the winning asset. The higher the chance is actually be able to outperform, because when everyone is there and everyone is getting this dopamine hit, so they can spend 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, 16 hours a day, that's definitely a more complex and harder level of competition currently. When people are not here, when they're chilling, when they're doing some worthless bullshit, stuff that does not matter at this stage, this is where you focus. This is where you spend time in the market. This is where you're getting generational entries for the alts and for the meme coins as well. This is where you spot stuff that will provide you generational wealth in the upcoming 6 to 12 months. This is just so crazy. And this is also part of the bullish sentiment. I strongly disagree with this take. That's why we're in memes. And the guy is pretty much showing the charts of alts that are just going down. And as you probably have guessed, these are the alts with high fully diluted valuations and low float, which means that a bunch of venture capitalists, they're just constantly receiving supply of these tokens, and they did not do anything to receive the supply of these tokens. They just provided funds, right? So they did not develop any loyalty for the project. So they just don't care in the first place, and they're just dumping this project the second they are receiving the tokens. Not the situation that we will actually have with Blast, because largest people, they worked hard for their backs. They developed loyalty, they checked out the ecosystem, they got to know some people as well, made some friends. Therefore, it would be harder for them to dump, and there is a higher chance that they will actually stay in the ecosystem. And that's why I'm saying that Blast is counter-trading greedy VCs of this cycle, and just based on the fact that they only fundraised $20 million. Man, this is just so crazy to understand as well. Miles is sharing boring emoji here. This is exactly what I love to see. I'm sure that in 2 days from now, we will be pumping 100%. This is your time to focus. This is your time to rebalance the portfolio, to make some actions, to think of the things that you think will be pumping short term the first, to reposition into them. Into things that are being flooded. Into things that are oversold and positioning themselves currently. Don't chase this stuff that is popping up currently, like MOG and things like that. They are showing strength, for sure. If you're entering with several $100,000, you might also be entering and things like that, right? But I do think that short term you will have a high chance to underperform due to the fact that like these things, they are pumping up currently. People are focused on them currently, and it's kind of convenient to get into them. It's fine, like we feel alright, like everyone is talking about them. It's not something that you want. They are already taking profits on the mock and repositioning into some other assets right as we speak. Most Ethereum holders got them on hands. 78% of all Ethereum is held by long-term holders. You remember at the top of BTC, you probably saw a bunch of charts that were showing that around that marks, around the all-time highs, longer-term holders were transferring their tokens to short-term holders, which means that longer-term holders were essentially taking profits and shorter-term holders were buying on the euphoria, on the pump and things like that, right? It was happening with BTC to a certain extent when we were at around all-time highs, March, April, these type of months, right? With Ethereum, 78% of all holders is long-term currently because it did not see all-time high. It did not even start this procedure yet. This is also a very, very bullish take at this stage. One thing that I think you should focus on a lot currently, and that I am focusing a lot, I'm constantly thinking, what are the assets that will be pumping up once the market reverses the first? Because there are several types of games that you want to play with this market in terms of multiplying your capital, right? The first one that a lot of people are playing is just rotation games. So they sit in like BTC, they made some like gain, right? They push it into Ethereum, they make some gain, they push it into alts. So they constantly like multiplying the percentages. But if you're doing it with the whole herd of people, you are underperforming. The idea is to actually be able to set up trends, to be early, to make some money in like large cap alt and reposition somewhere into the narrative, into the sector that pumps next. So you would be actually multiplying, right? You made 2x on one thing, you rotated, you made 3x, and it's already 6x. You rotated somewhere else. You've just done a 2x, but it's already 12x on your capital. And like perfect, like master level of this thing is actually being able to do this on leverage. This is just crazy. Like imagine yourself doing these rotations, performing them on leverage. You have to also understand that to a certain extent, all the things, they start to pump at the same time. It's just that certain coins are outperforming at a certain point of time, and then other coins start to outperform as well. So the like master level is to actually know and understand what would be the coins, what would be the assets that would be outperforming right way, be positioned in them initially, and then rotate once we move further into the cycle. In terms of some sectors like this, I'm constantly thinking of meme coins because meme coins, they're definitely moving forward with the whole Bitcoin chart at this stage. And alts, they're definitely lagging. We have some strong alts like Casper, for example, because of the tokenomics, because of the thing that it's set up, because of the community as well, because of the fact it's quite strong. I think Casper is doing all-time highs currently. And it's definitely front-running the market. I can tell you this 100%. And there were cases in this cycle already where Casper was front-running this cycle already. So interesting thing was, for example, to enter Casper on leverage and around these times take a bit of profits and reposition to something that did not pump yet. Some people are already doing that already, like masters of this cycle. You can pretty much be doing that with building trading pairs of, and you can pretty much be doing that with building trading pairs of different assets on TradingView and seeing where the asset is currently in correlation to certain asset, whether it's outperforming currently or not, and maybe we're at a resistance point where it makes 100% sense, like total sense, to actually reposition yourself from one asset into another. If an alt season happens, memes will outperform the alts. If an alt season doesn't happen, memes will outperform the alts. This is something I'm constantly thinking on, and I want you to understand this as well. We have a certain set of alts that are performing nicely. You might think of maybe Render, of maybe Casper, of maybe Ondo, so like alts of choice in the current market, right? Most alts, they're just not doing nothing at this stage, right? Like Layer 1s and layer 2s and things like that. But we also have to understand that the reason they're doing nothing is because obviously current market participants, they do not want to enter into them, and secondly, their marketing materials, like their marketing effectiveness, it's not effective at this stage at all, because current market participants, they don't want to buy into these assets. Therefore, these assets, what they want, what they need, and the change of market condition that they need is the new all-time high for Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's when these marketing machines will essentially kick off. That's when we will be getting our alt season. So to see alt season for these alts, we have to get new all-time highs for BTC and Ethereum, which would mean that there would be a new herd of people entering the market, and they would not know that like these alts are VC scams and things like that. They will just not care. We will just have too much liquidity, euphoria, everything will be pumping, and current market participants, they will also stop caring, because the only reason people are caring currently is because there is just simply not enough liquidity. Once there is enough liquidity in the marketplace, no one cares. FDV is a meme. People just rotate into things that did not pump because they expect them to pump. And once a certain amount of people rotated into a thing that did not pump, expecting it to pump, it eventually pumps. A lot of people are saying that we will not be seeing something like this cycle, this time is different. I don't think so, because these things are working based on human emotions and human psychology. Human psychology did not change in 4 years, right? You can't be scared to buy coins you have conviction in. When the price drops, that's an opportunity, but 99% of people miss it and end up buying higher. 99% won't make generational wealth this bull run. There is a lesson in that. A very, very interesting thought as well, because most people let the price convince them. And when you let the price convince you, your upside is already quite limited. Speaking of something like MOG, even at this stage, right? It's kind of comfortable to get into MOG currently. Price definitely convinced you, but your upside right now, it's not there. Like conservatively, it's 6 to 8x's from here, right? It even not conservatively, even like nice price target from here. And it might be quite hard to reach. It might take quite a lot of time. And you'll probably have a bunch of coins in the meantime that will outperform. And the interesting thing is that your larger MOG holders, your larger MOG whales, they will be repositioning from MOG into these coins already, or they are already repositioned, which is very, very interesting. Price action and sentiment feels most similar to Q3 2020 right now. I expect things to pick back up towards the end of July as the Ethereum ETFs begin trading, but not expecting any proper fireworks until late Q3. In any case, I'm comfy in Ethereum. So it seems like this guy is mostly focused on altcoins. I don't think that he's like in memes much. Speaking of altcoins, I would agree with him. I would agree that probably we will be in the situation where most of the alts are moving probably closer to the late of Q3. But I'm not talking about memes. Memes should be performing very, very well with just small change in the market sentiment, small change in the price of BTC and Ethereum, because institutions are in memes currently as well. And interestingly, I was reading some thoughts from like large whales in the market, like speaking about that memes are scams launched by same type of manipulators that launched altcoins and things like that. And it just happened that I tend to know certain people who are behind certain like largest memes on this market currently, right? And I knew them even before this bull cycle started. And I don't think they're like these like crazy manipulator funds with altcoins and things like that. In fact, I think that these funds, these VCs, they are scared shitless right now. They don't understand what the fuck is happening. Their meme coins are pumping and their alts, no one the fuck cares about their alts. They are scared shitless because they invested hundreds of millions of dollars. They don't know what to do. They try to, I think they're still mid-curving memes. They're just still waiting. But man, it's just so crazy. I would say this is one of the reasons of why we are seeing these crazy sell-offs of alts currently in each and every market dip. Why I was liquidated a bunch of times on my altcoins as well is because they are scared shitless themselves. They are dumping alts because they don't see market buying their garbage, because market is buying memes and they're still mid-curving memes. And that's why I'm saying that you'll probably see in the preview of this video exit pumps for major memes, because it kind of seems like that. A lot of major memes, they still kind of want to create this lower low on the chart. They just look like this, right? But anyway, memes are definitely the ones that will continue to perform moving further. It's just this giant fuck you from the market participants to the VCs that rigged this game. And VCs, they're just scared shitless. Bitcoin miners are capitulating now. This is historical bottom signal. Bitcoin network true hash rate drop down. It's crazy that several things I'm showing you, they're obviously from the psychology point of view, but several things they are from data. They are from price for transactions on Ethereum being the cheapest from 2016. Bitcoin miners capitulating as well. It's just so crazy to see these things as well. These are like your true bottom signals. It's not anymore just about psychology, just about sentiment. As mentioned, FUD is not the worst thing that can happen to the project or that can happen to the market. The worst thing is when no one gives a fuck. It's better for retail to say that crypto is a scam than just, oh, crypto, I don't give a shit, right? You can understand it right away. It's better to say that. It's better if they're saying that crypto is a scam, right? And we have the same situation currently. People are just fucking bored. People are not in the market. This is where I'm pushing myself. This is when I am staying in the market. This is when I understand that the things I will do currently, I will be able to position myself for not doing a lot of stuff once we are pumping, moving further. These are just golden minutes, hours, and seconds of time in the market. And believe me, it's not going to continue for a lot of time. We have some news that CZ is coming back within 4 weeks. That's also might be actually quite bullish for the market. That's quite interesting. Overall, to finalize my overview, before we will jump into the blast topics and end on blast topic as well. If tomorrow we will get a sell-off, beat max beat, this will confirm the reversal. Tomorrow's sell-off will confirm the reversal of the market. Tomorrow sell-off is pretty much the main thing to actually beat. I do expect a bullish July. I do expect some things might be happening closer to the middle of July, which would essentially provide us with the final shakeout, which would be just a very, very smart picture from the manipulator point of view, because we had this multi months downwards chop. We received a bit of hope. We started to pump at the start of July, right? And then Black Swan in the middle of July. All the leverage got finally liquidated. Everything goes to shit, right? Just at the time where people switched from shorts to longs, all just goes to shit right away, right? And then once the maximum amount of players are out of this rocket, we are finally pumping up, pumping further. This is their goal. Their goal is to first to make sure that the least amount of people is actually in the rocket. And secondly, if you are in the rocket, your average entry point is quite high. The goal is to shake out old investors with profits. They're pretty much like market manipulators. They are pretty much behaving as market makers on certain project, because for market manipulators, the whole market is the project where they're market making on. Coming back to Blast, according to analysis, circulating supply of Blast is actually below 10%, meaning circulating market cap is likely below $200 million. Do you understand that there are a bunch of memes, even on Ethereum, that have a market cap larger than the market cap of Blast? And this is Proper Layer 2, with the data points similar to Base, if not even better. This is undervalued as fuck. I do think that we have last several, probably even hours, before this will finally get understood and appreciated by the market. And I think what Pac-Man did is actually he provided a generational entry point to early supporters and believers of the project. This is something that I believe is actually happening. If you believe, you can enter very, very cheaply currently. Same thing actually applies to Andy on Blast as well. Holy shit, there are exchanges out there paying you more than 10% a year to loan Bitcoin. This is happening at $60,000. When Bitcoin got to $60,000 in March, apes were paying 60% a year to loan. This is a sign the market has totally reset. One more point, into the whole batch of points regarding the current bottom and regarding the upcoming reversal and regarding us, the market being manipulated heavily currently, so they can accumulate more and squeeze out as much random players they don't need as they only can. 4 days into Blast TG and there are still FUD posts. Lots of uncertainty, lots of emotion. Sure, it can go 30-40% more, but the asymmetrical risk is there for this one, and I'm taking it. If it goes lower, you know what we're doing. Buy. I do agree with that. I think that Blast is pretty much like the most undervalued layer 2 in the marketplace currently. It's criminally undervalued at this stage. I'm not sure if I will be able to show this tweet currently, but there is a guy who bought $4.1 million worth of Blast already. I think yesterday he just added 80k or something. And like, I think that this is just easily $40 million this cycle. Easily $40 million. Very simple. Including all the vestings, including all the dilution and things like that. Easily 10x from here. We've converted 50% of the Ethereum in the Blaze treasury into Blast, in it for the long haul. I would say that this is just a no-brainer because Blast token will definitely outperform Ethereum at $200 million market cap. And finalizing with Andy. As usual, 0 tokens sold, holding all of my supply. It's nice to see some green on the chart, and it's nice to see how well we're actually holding this trend line, right? It's a very, very bullish sign for the project as well. I do believe we will close above this line. And man, just look at this chart. Does it seem like we are going down? Do you know what type of holders we have currently? Do you know what type of things the team is cooking behind the curtains? Do you know how undervalued this ecosystem is currently? And the main thing, what kind of provides you with safety about this trade, is that we are heavily oversold right now because a bunch of people were buying into the anticipation of the airdrop. A bunch of people were panic selling. Airdrop in eyes, in like opinion wise from certain people, airdrop did not succeed. And the main token of the ecosystem is at the bottom currently, being flooded. 4 days after TG is being flooded. This is exactly the time where you buy. We are at the bottom at this stage. This looks bullish as fuck to me. Crazy things will be happening moving further as well. We just have to wait for our market reversal as well. As mentioned, Blast is the most undervalued layer 2 at this stage, and Andy, as the largest meme on the chain, will always outperform the main token of the chain. But again, we should not focus like in terms of the Andy valuations, in terms of the market cap of the main token of the chain. We should focus on what exactly is happening on chain. Amount of transactions, amount of unique apps, amounts of TVL, and our numbers are better than numbers of Base. Yet, our meme is 50 times lower, if not more, than Bread on Base. Exactly same narrative, exactly same color thing. Quality-wise, like art and things like that, it's even better. That's why I'm holding, and I will continue to hold this asset as well. Summing up the whole thing, I do think that today is a very, very important day. Like one of the like just put this day on your calendar and just come back to it in 2 weeks. Come back to this day in 2 months. Come back to this day in 8 months from here. Just make a screenshot of crypto prices right now on CoinMarketCap, right? Just make a screenshot. Just print it and put it on your wall. And check out on a daily basis these prices. 100% you would be going back and you would be seeing what the fuck are these prices? Why I was not acting? And again, the confirmation of the reversal would be tomorrow dip. If we dip tomorrow, beat as this is your fucking last day on this earth. Max beat. This would be just crazy opportunity. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll be seeing you tomorrow.